Hello, my name is David Schmus, and I am thrilled to take over from my friend and mentor Finn Laursen as Executive Director of Christian Educators Association International. It never ceases to amaze me how many educators I meet who are already living out their faith on their campuses, but who have never heard of CEAI. They are often unsupported, and many feel alone in their calling. You know, that was my story as well. After college, I worked briefly in politics, then sensed a call to ministry and went to seminary. Toward the end of my studies, the Lord began to point me toward the public schools as my mission field. I started to take teacher credentialing classes while looking for a high school position and was shortly hired with what was called an emergency credential. I was to teach AP US History and Government at the very high school that I had attended as a student. I remember well my first day. As an emergency credential hire, not only had I not done any student teaching, but had not even done any observation hours. That day was the first time I had been in a high school classroom since I was in high school. Needless to say, I was terrified. I remember asking the students to take out a piece of paper and write something down, and they actually did it. I thought to myself, well, okay, maybe this will work. Within a few weeks, I realized that despite the long hours and high commitment level required to be an excellent teacher, I loved it. I could start to see the impact God was making in the hearts and lives of my students. As my career continued, I could see God using me, but also felt very isolated. When I joined CEAI as a member early in my career, I did so because I was tired of my union dues going to causes I couldn't support biblically. Little did I know that God was going to use this ministry to radically change my life. In 2010, I attended the first Daniel Weekend sponsored by Christian Educators. These are conferences designed to equip and empower us to walk out our calling on campus. As we shared around the room, I realized I had found my tribe. Educators who wanted to go beyond just identifying as a Christian, but who wanted to pray and work to see campus transformation. I came back to my campus with renewed passion and actual plans to seek first His kingdom for my school. I went on to attend the 40-day Daniel Leadership Institute the following summer and then began leading Daniel weekends around the nation, eventually coming on staff as outreach director and now as executive director. As a new executive director, I am primarily committed to two things. First, to continue to provide our members with an exceptional member service experience. Because of Finn Laursen's many years of educational leadership as a teacher, counselor, principal, and superintendent, I have asked him to stay on staff as our educational consultant. This means that when you contact the Membership Service Center, you will continue to benefit from Finn's wisdom and experience. One of the misconceptions I've encountered is that many of our members think that we only help with religious issues. The reality is that most of our interactions with our members are about personnel issues, having to do with things like evaluations and contracts. I am committed to making sure that CEAI will remain a source of experienced, wise, and biblical counsel on all of these issues. The second thing I am committed to is continuing to encourage, equip, and empower Christian educators to live out their faith legally and boldly in our K-12 schools. We need to know the law, and we will continue to equip you with resources to do just that. As a teacher, though, I also need an encouragement to walk in faith rather than fear. The scriptures remind us that we have not been given a spirit of fear, but of love, power, and self-control. When we decide to not leave Jesus in the car, but take Him with us on our campus, we carry with us all we need to transform schools with God's love and truth. Whether through the Daniel Project, the Christian Educators Movement, or our Lift America outreach events that are catalyzing Christian educators across entire cities, we are committed to support you in the strategic and critical role you play in reaching the youth of this nation. If you are a member with coverage of CEAI, thank you so much. Your membership is not only providing you with valuable benefits, but also helping support Christian educators on campuses across the nation. If you are a movement member, which is our free membership, or maybe someone just becoming familiar with CEAI, I would ask for your prayer and financial support as we continue this mission to equip, encourage, and empower Christian educators across the country to transform schools with God's love and truth. Thank you, and I look forward to serving you as the new Executive Director of CEAI.